Hello and welcome everybody, this is your host Learbach, and here's some time for more commentary, yeah. So, for those of you who kept in touch last episode, or watched last episode, you know that, I had a little bit of an audio issue. I, being an idiot, closed out of my recording software, before saving it. I don't think I mentioned that in the episode. That's basically what happened. I didn't save it, and when I closed it out, I was like, that was incredibly fast. Right here, if you want to do an optimal run, Profiler, Virus Scan, and YM gold subroutines are right here. So if you get either any three of those, you can choose not to upgrade them through the entire game. Up to this point, just pay the energy for them. I believe that may be different. I don't know. I believe that's the same. But I can't remember. I mentioned last episode how many times I played through a game. I played through Tron 2.0 twice before this Let's Play. So, and they were fairly far apart. First was the first time when I downloaded it, and I couldn't find a legitimate copy of it anywhere. Which I'm serious, like, until it was on Steam a few months ago, about a year or two ago at this point, I could not find it anywhere. Like, to find a legal copy of it was like absurd amounts on like eBay and stuff like that. And I guess this was before Amazon. I can't remember. At least I didn't know about Amazon at the time. And yeah, what also didn't help is I didn't have any money. Being a high school kid at the time, I was like, "Oh crap, I don't have any money." I would have tried to find it legitimately and scrounged up whatever money I could, but that was not going to be possible. So, well, piracy had to be the answer. I downloaded it, played it, enjoyed it, and said to myself if it ever came out, I'd buy it. Well, that's what I did. I did that with Psychonauts, I did that with this game, and I did that with Call of Juarez.
Track 6 has a great
Call of Juarez 2 to be exact. Bound in Blood.
What is your favorite song?
I haven't played the first Call of Juarez and
But for some reason I can't get track 3 out of my memory.
crap, what's the other one? Oh, I did a Let's Play of that one too. What's the other one? Let me pull up Steam here real quick and just check my library. I cannot believe I forgot that one. Gunslinger, right.
What is your favorite song?
Okay.
I like track 6, but that's weird.
So yeah, I bought Gunslinger legitimately, and I just want to reiterate, I can't recommend buying these games more, especially now that they're on Steam. I bought Tron on Steam the day it came out, the day I found out it came out, like, which is within the same week. Like, I don't know what Disney was doing, but they just dumped a whole load of their games on Steam, and this is one of them. When I saw that, I was like, buy, install, played it again. Like, that's how fast it was. Call of Juarez, Bound in Blood took a little longer. I basically just had to wait till I had the money for it. Like, I knew about Steam long before. Like, I had Steam well into that time, but I didn't really have the money. Psychonauts was like the first game I actually bought on Steam. I had Portal 2, which I bought. Actually, my sister had bought me. Which, by the way, if you're watching this, sis, thanks. She bought me it for my birthday about a month after it came out. Don't know why I'm going into that kind of detail.
Got a request.
But yeah. So she bought me that. You had to download Steam in order to play it. It's a Valve game, and so after that, I happened to have some money, so I got Psychonauts for Christmas for about $10 because it went on sale, and I saw that and I was like, oh, well, there it is for $10, and might as well buy it. No, normal price was $10. I bought it for $5. Again, money issues. I mean, I knew about Call of Juarez, but I think at the time it was $20, and I didn't even have money for that. And I know a lot of people. Oh, you don't have money. You don't have money for 20. You don't have $20 on you. It's like, well, when you're in high school, no, you don't. Actually, no, I wasn't even in high school. I was out of high school. I was a college dropout. Still am, I guess, technically, and I had no job. Let me go ahead and reiterate here. For 5 years, from the age of 20 to 24, I had no job. Not for lack of trying, mind you. I tried my hardest. Online applications, paper applications, nothing worked. Eventually, my dad got me a job with one of his friends doing a part-time job he had, and I was really hoping that didn't show up on the Steam overlay.
Tron is retired.
I'm never sure if the Steam overlay shows up on here or not. I always forget to check. The thing with like I use Bandicam right now, but I used to use Fraps. I used Fraps because at the time it was the only one I knew to get. It's also bloody expensive. I think it was like $40, I think. I'm trying to remember. I could be wrong. But like it just drains so much of your resources to do all that because it's just like, and it locks your frame rate at 30. So I couldn't have that working for all my games because I wanted to do Kingdom Hearts. So I had to get a new thing. Bandicam was the first option, and thank goodness it was. It was like amazing. I loved it, and so I forked over $20 for that, and it's like, hey, it's pretty cheap. It records at whatever your game is, and it's actually smaller. It actually records it in a slightly smaller format than Fraps does, so it's a little easier to work with. The one problem is I couldn't use it with Windows Movie Maker, which is what I was using as my editing software at the time. So I had to find another thing. I now gotta remember what it's called. It's VDSC. VSDC. Okay, so I had the letters right. VSDC, which is a free video recording for non-linear video editing. For those of you that don't know the difference between linear and non-linear, with linear, all your movie files are on one line. All your audio files on one line. So when you drag and drop files into the format, video, then next to another, then right next to another. It kind of makes things a little difficult. To do like what I did for Metal Gear Rising. You guys might have seen the bonus episodes where I have like the overlays for the what are they called when you talk to the codecs, which I really enjoyed doing that. I really liked doing that, and I haven't done anything like that since. I kind of feel a little sad that I haven't done anything. I haven't run into a game that lets me do something like that. But I like that so much, and I kind of like being able to go back and show me completely owning the boss fights. Or maybe not completely owning. I had one issue with, was it the Psycho Mantis wannabe? Let's face it, even for people like me who've never played Metal Gear Solid, you at least know who Psycho Mantis is and what he did. Ah, I see you like playing Castlevania. Ugh. I kind of can't help but wonder, the person who's like playing the game for the first time, like as a kid, it's like you just happen to have Castlevania on, like your friend brought it over or something, it's like, or whatever one of the games that's compatible that he reads on your memory card, and it's like, no, that was my friend. You're a phony! Like immediately giving away that he's reading your memory. Well, I guess you kind of have to know he's reading your memory card at that point. What I can't believe is apparently the way you have to beat him is plug in a second controller into port 2 so that you're now controlling him. Which, in all fairness, if I had owned a PlayStation at the time and played Metal Gear, or Metal Gear Solid, I probably would have never had a problem with them, because chances are I would have had a second controller for friends and had it plugged in all the time. So So apparently he just like sits there or something. You can completely own him. So I probably would have had an easy time. Like, huh? That was him. That was Cyclone Mantis. Huh? It's kind of easy. And I can imagine like all my friends were. Yeah, this is embarrassing. You actually have to protect Mithria, otherwise you can die. That doesn't mean also attacking Thorn here. But you can only, since you can't kill him, you have to attack him at certain times, like when he's starting his attacks. I think it seemed that way. I couldn't get a second confirmation with this one. But anyway, most of my friends and I were Nintendo fans. I did well to surround myself with Nintendo fans. I had one friend who had a PlayStation when I lived in Midland. And really, he didn't really have any games for it. We just played the demo disc, which included the Spyro the Dragon on it. It was kind of cool. But like he didn't have a memory card or anything for it, so like. And I don't know if back then we knew about the memory card thing. I think we did. He meant to get it, but like he didn't play it enough to really want a memory card. Everyone played with me in my N64 because back then that was the thing to play. The N64 was the bomb. Was the best thing to get. And why? Well, we had Mario Party. We had Mario Kart. I didn't have Mario Kart. I rented it like plenty of times. Same with Smash Brothers. I rented Smash Brothers 64 like I don't know how many times. Oddly enough, I never got a cartridge that had Ness on it. I had a cartridge with all the other characters on it, but not Ness. And Ness is like one of the hardest characters to unlock. I think he required you to play the hard mode in the single player mode I guess you call it classic mode, even though it wasn't called classic until after the arcade mode. I guess I can't remember what they called it in the 64 version. But yeah, never saw a cartridge with him unlocked. I knew about it because I was subscribed to Nintendo Power at the time, and I knew about it. So, oh wow, this is so much easier to come up with stuff to talk about when I don't have to focus on playing it through the game. Wow, this. For those of you wondering, do not expect to see this very often. I try not to do this, and part of the whole thing of Let's Play is to commentate over it, and I don't commentate while playing the game, and I don't want to have to do this whole thing again. I haven't had to do something like this since Alice Madness Returns, I think. I had that one or two episodes where I screwed up with the audio as well. So yeah, anyway. So me and my friends I had an N64 and we played games on that. And played Smash Brothers, even though I only rented it a lot. Played Mario Party, played GoldenEye, played the crap out of GoldenEye. The funny thing about GoldenEye and Mario Party, I was a pro at Mario Party. Like, I could play through that game. The only mini game I couldn't competently play was that one mini game where you had to light up the area with the boot chasing you, and you had to rotate the control stick. I could not do that, and I will tell you this right now. I burned holes through my palm trying to do that. Like, I would wake up in the morning, getting ready for school. My hand would feel weird because like my palm, the center of my palm was like the skin was ground off from having to rotate that control stick so much. It's part of the reason why you'll never see Mario Party on the Virtual Console unless they're able to patch that game out or change the mechanics so it doesn't do that. No, bite the dust. Oh, that was a terrible pun. But anyway, back to the Mario Party thing. So, I remember they even actually issued special gloves that you could order from Nintendo specifically for that. So you didn't so you didn't destroy your palm. But yeah, it's like unless they're able to patch that out or change the control so it's instead of control stick it's like A and B or something. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you this right now, that minigame was so BS, even if you took that out, because you had to, like, I never completed it. And that was one of the things, like, Minigame Island in the first Mario Party where you had to play through every one of the minigames, that was the one minigame I couldn't beat. And since you had to play them in a certain order, I could never beat Minigame Island. And I got stuck on that one. I tried my hardest on that. Like, I was rotating it as fast as I possibly could, as probably faster than most people could. And you could not, like, the boo got to you before you could get to it. And yeah, I really suck at this. For those of you wondering, you can hit no and it skips the light cycle stuff. They were kind enough to take this stuff out, but those green panels are those green spots are just a nightmare because you can't, because you're going so fast you don't have any time, you don't have any real time to react. You kind of have to know ahead of time what you're gonna do. And I'm not sure, but I think I saw a secret path you could take instead of going the way the arrow. If you go the other way, there's like a small little hole. If you're skilled enough, you can get through that. And I don't know if that's a secret path or not. Kind of looks like it might be. You're seeing me try different things. You're just trying to make it easier for me, and it's not working. But yeah, so me and my friends, we just, again, the Nintendo 64 was the best system at the time, and it may not have been the most powerful. It certainly wasn't the most impressive. I mean, it didn't use CDs, but you know, the Atari Jaguar did, and the Atari Jaguar turned out to be a piece of crap. And nobody's complaining about that. No, nobody's arguing about that. The Atari Jaguar didn't even work half the time. Or actually, I should say 90% of the time, because I've seen at least 2 videos right now. Angry Video Game Nerd and the Spoonie one's attempts at trying to play these consoles. The nerd couldn't even get it to work. Spoonie was able to get it to work, barely, and there were so many issues with it, like it clipped onto the discs, it clamped onto the discs, making them impossible to spin, and you had to have everything hooked up exactly right, and it was like this thing. I kind of wonder why there was so much of a quality assurance problem with it. Like, it really makes me wonder, like, especially with Atari. Atari's not exactly a great company, especially not anymore, but I mean, come on Atari. It's like at that point you could tell they had like no, like they were in the crap hole. Even though they had a console, they were in the crapper. Which is fitting considering the shape of the Atari Jaguar. And you know, the PlayStation was a great console and all, but like no one really played it. And, well, at the time, I think this the Nintendo 64 came out first. You were a kid. You usually got one console. You didn't get 2. And this was years before Final Fantasy VII. And even then, it's like, we were kids. We didn't play RPGs. I didn't beat Mario RPG until I was 14 years old. I got the game when I was 9. You wanna know where I got stuck at? The second area, the Mole Mountain Mines, when you had to fight Croco for the second time. I could not beat him. So for 5 years, Croco whooped my butt something fierce. And then I got to the age of 14 and I actually learned how to play RPGs for real. Because the way I was getting through at that point was just attack, maybe do a special attack, run out of FP, and like wonder why the heck I'm running out of FP. Because I don't understand how what all these numbers are doing for me. I had a player's guide which had the recommended levels. Like, I was at the recommended level, but the problem is I couldn't level up anymore because I defeated all the enemies And yeah, I probably have that story in my Let's Play for my first Super Mario RPG, and it's probably a much better, more memorized version on there too. As the memories for that game started flooding back then. One thing I want to mention also, speaking of older, younger me and new things here, I used to be good at this game. I used to be good at light cycle stuff. Like, I used to play a lot of Snake, which for those of you who don't know what Snake is, it's basically like a single player light cycle, only the tail for the light cycles walls. Oh, the way Snake worked is instead of having this thing, instead of having these walls like this, you had your body, and as you went around collecting pellets, your body grew and eventually grew and eventually grew. And I wrecked that like crazy. It was like awesome. I keep using the term wrecked. I don't know where I'm getting that. I don't know where I'm getting my terminology from. So yeah, Mysteria is not. Mysteria is gone. That's sad. So yeah, we're getting closer to the end of this episode. I mean, we got a few more minutes still. Now I gotta remember what all I was talking about. The good old days. All started from talking about my old piracy days, I guess you could say.
I found Mysteria, saving to disk now.
Which actually kind of leads me to something that's a bit controversial, the whole piracy issue. You know, I emulate a lot of these games that I used to see me do when I did all the old Nintendo games. I emulated them on the computer simply because I didn't have a capture card. All the games I owned, obviously, or at one point I owned at the time of recording. Or my friends owned and let me borrow. At the time.
Dad?
Is
it you?
And regardless, I had them in my possession when I Let's Played them. The problem is, I don't really have the means to Let's Play, to play them.
Can you get me out of here?
Actually, the only game I didn't own at the time was Earthbound. Earthbound was the only game I didn't own at the time, and that's because Nintendo didn't release it until fairly recently. And to get a copy cost like close to $200 on eBay, which for those of you paying that much for Earthbound, it is not worth that much. It is not is by far not a bad game. It is a great game worth playing, but it is not 170. It is not $170 like what you see on there most of the time. It is like at best like a $30, maybe a $50 game. It's not rare. That's the problem. It's not a rare game. They made tons of these cartridges and they're everywhere. So like paying $100 for Earthbound is absurd. $70 maybe, but not $100. But yeah, so we're getting close to the end of this episode here. We return back to the internet, and yeah. Not really much more to say. So, in the next episode, hopefully I should have my audio, shouldn't have any audio problems. So, until then, I'll see you guys. Well, yeah, finish saving here real quick. So yeah. So I will see you guys later.